Hey, thanks for tuning in to another GigSmarter review. This is a review on the Playmix 8, the Playmix series of desks from Proel. And Proel is an Italian company, and there's lots of Italian audio companies producing good gear. So Proel is kind of more the, let's say, the more value kind of orientated provider, and then you go up the scale then to you got DB Technologies. You can see another review of DB Technologies there on my channel. And you've got at the higher end of the scale, you've got FBT and RCF, of course. So a lot of decent companies producing good gear at different ends of the spectrum. So it's designed in Italy. I think it's made in China. So I got this the other day, and I've been using the UI24 for a good while. And of course, the UI24 is a lot more channels. But I also got the UI12 recently, which has 8 XLR inputs and 2 auxiliary outputs, and it records in stereo. The UI24 records in stereo, and it also records multi-channel as well. And I've been using the UI12 for smaller gigs for some time, a couple of months, and I just find that it's not ideal if I'm solo or even if I'm in a duo, because you have to be able to adjust your sound on the fly. And that means you need a second screen. I already use one screen for my chords and my lyrics because my memory is not great and I need that on the screen. But it means I need a second screen then just to control the UI24. A lot of the time you need to make adjustments on the fly, a bit of feedback or whatever, and you need to bring it down or that kind of thing. And the UI24 for me is just not ideal for the kind of acoustic two-man shows I do. Maybe it's better if you've got a dedicated engineer, but it's Wi-Fi based, of course. So we'd be setting up there and I put it on the fireplace and it loses connection. And then we're panicking, like, why we have to go on stage and we can't get a connection. And I know the suggestion out there, the advice out there is to get a separate modem, but I don't want a separate modem because that defeats the purpose of, less gear and making it as efficient as possible. So if you keep line of sight, you might get, 70, 80% connection reliability, but you could be in the middle of a set and you lose connection and then you need to adjust sounds or, the last time we were gigging with it there a couple of weeks ago, we needed to unmute the other guy's guitar and we couldn't because we couldn't get a connection. So, long story short, I was looking for a desk that could record just the stereo. I don't need the multi-track, and also that it it had effects on it as well. And I discovered after I purchased it, because I'd forgotten about it, that it actually has Bluetooth as well, which is such a great feature to have because it means that you can, there's not dead sound before you go on, or if you need to, you take a break in your set, you can easily put music on. And you also have the option to hardwire it as well. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the desk before I give you kind of my opinions and stuff. So first of all, the plus is you've got a sweepable parametric EQ. Okay, that's really nice, especially if you've got an acoustic guitar. Just want to soften it a little bit. Yeah, that's great. You've got an FX and an auxiliary out. Okay, so your auxiliary out is coming from here. So you can send that into a monitor, and I've done it. The only thing is that it's pre-FX. So whatever you're sending into the monitor is not going to have the effects here. Okay, so just be aware of that. You got a nice low cut button there just to clean it up a little bit. The XLR inputs are unfortunately not dual jack and XLR, so you got a separate line input here. It would be nice if they had dual inputs, and then you could possibly have this as an insert, but let's bear in mind this is 149 euros, and for that price, it's a great deal. You've also got a pan knob here, which is really cool, and then of course your gain. No compressor. It would be nice if it had a compressor, and it would also be nice if it had a pre-fade listen button. Okay, but unfortunately you don't. But you have got a peak indication here, which is pretty cool. All right, so yeah, and you've got your control room level as well, so you can control room left and right. Okay, so which is handy if you have to send the signal elsewhere. Okay, so you've got 5 and 6 channels, 5 and 6, which are stereo. Okay, so you can switch here between. You could have the input here, keyboard input, say for example, or you could have a stereo in, which goes to 5 and 6, which could be, say a backing track or whatever if you've just got mini jack. Yeah. Now look at this. It's plastic at the bottom. It's not rubber at the bottom. The UI12 is rubber at the bottom, which is nice. So you're going to have to go online and order some rubber strips or go to your local DIY, because this slides around. It's not ideal, is it? Now, one of the really cool features is that I am pairing this from a battery pack. USB-A, I believe it is. Big USB. So into another USB-A, okay, which is great because you can do outside ceremonies anywhere, which is really handy. You can have more channels. So, I already have a battery powered speaker, which is handy. But it's good to have a desk that is battery powered as well, or has the option of being battery powered, because then you can record the audio then as well. That's really good. So now your control room also handles your headphone sound as well. All the gear that you see here I buy myself unless otherwise stated. 149 euros, and it records in 2-track stereo. It's got USB input, so you can stick a thumb drive like I've done here. And you've got Bluetooth, so it's just handy at gigs for playing music between songs and just keeping up the atmosphere. And also it's battery powered as well, so I'm running this off a battery pack. Now you need to have, it comes with a USB to USB. Okay, it won't run off USB-C to standard USB. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So I'm going to get myself a few extra USB to USBs for spares, because you never know when they're going to break. So I think this unit is really exceptional value for money. So about 150 bucks, and you're getting all of these features. Now, as I say, Proel is an Italian brand, and they tend to have more features than, say, the higher end competitors. So Proel is kind of a value brand. So for example, if you look at their speakers, I think they've got a brand called Wave speakers, and they'll play MP3s, and there's multiple channels and maybe effects built in, but the RMS value and the peak value is a lot lower. Say it's half what the equivalent, say, RCF speaker would be, whereas RCF are kind of built on really high-end hi-fi sound. And the Proel stuff is decent stuff, but you're going to get more features with the Proel, but probably not as high in SPL level or peak level as well. Okay, but this unit is great. Apart from the dodgy pots, which misaligned pots, I don't know what was going on in the factory there. That was misaligned because obviously that's going through a manufacturing process there how it got twisted. This one is twisted, this one here, but they still work and they feel good. So good value unit. You know, I'm all about trying to make gigging as fun and as easy as possible, as stressful as possible. So the less cables, BT connection means I've got less cables. That's good. And the less gear that I have to carry is good, so I can just record straight. And of course, if you're putting your stuff, your videos online and stuff, it's handy to be able to record it direct from the desk, and maybe you can mix it in with the video camera sound, so you get the audience sound. Maybe bring that down and have a higher ratio of the actual desk recording as well, which is good. So you can do that in post. 48V on the 4 channels. I'd rather have just 48V maybe on 2 channels and a PFL on all the channels. So let's look at a couple of the cons. Yeah. So some of the knobs are misaligned. You can see here it's clearly had a few to drink before it was attached. This one here is slightly misaligned. So this number here indicates which effect you're on. You can dial in the separate effects here. So you got 20 different halls split into 2 different types of halls. Yeah. And you got another 20 different rooms, 2 types of rooms. You've got a short delay, got reverb and echo. The problem is you can't control the amount of echo, so it's tied in. So it would be nice if there was a separate auxiliary control, because if you add effects here, that's going to control the amount that goes to the auxiliary, but you might not want that much in the effects. So I guess you're going to have to maximize your effects level here and then put less in here. As I say, if you want to split between auxiliary and have effects at the same time. Now, of course, you could have your vocal going into an effects unit or a preamp before it goes in here, and that means you wouldn't need the effects on the channel, and therefore you'd have this down at 0 all the time. So then you'd be getting no effects in the channel. But again, you know, your instruments might already have effects on them, so you might need the effects here. But it's good to have if you need it. Yeah. All right. So channels 7 and 8, you could have, say, you know, a separate keyboard or stereo signal going in here. And then, say, for example, when you switch for the break, you switch it into BT mode or USB mode, and you can have playback, your MP3s playing back, or the Bluetooth from your phone as well. I definitely recommend this if you're looking for a decent desk, something that you just want to be able to touch and see in real time. And for the kind of acoustic gigs that I'm doing, where it's just me on stage, I need to be able to make adjustments on the fly without having to unlock a screen or switch between screens, that kind of thing. With a digital desk, it's just not ideal. So and this records as well, so what's not to like? So I hope you like this review. Again, GigSmarter, guys, not harder. And stay tuned for the next review, and thanks for watching. If you like this review and you want to see more, and you appreciate the review and the time that it takes, I'd love to make more of these reviews. So please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you can as well. So this mixer is really good value for money. I just like to do the odd review now and again for gear that, you know, I really like and I think is good value for money. You don't have to spend lots of money to get decent gear nowadays. And you know, the whole point with the GigSmarter reviews is gear that is easy to set up, easy to use, and especially for one-man operators like myself, sometimes, not always, but a lot of the time I'm gigging by myself, or I have to do a lot of different things, even if I'm with a band, not just playing. So I need gear that I can rely on, it's good value, and that I can set up quickly and take down quickly as well. It does come with a 4-year warranty, so it's 2 years plus 2 years extended, which reminds me I have to register this for the warranty. So go on the website and keep your receipt. And yeah, I just think it's a great unit for the money. I had the Soundcraft 12 FX, and I just thought it was absolute rubbish. It was powered from a guitar 12 volt in the back, and but it was about 18 volts, and it just wasn't stable. The power supply wasn't stable. The effects sounded really raspy. The reverb, even though it was Lexicon, didn't sound very good. And I believe the EQ wasn't parametric mids. I just didn't like the unit at all, so I got rid of that last year, and then I got the UI12. Haven't used the UI24 for the last few years. But this, to be honest, this kind of has everything I want. Now, I was looking at the Zoom L8 as well, which is slightly bigger, and that records to SD card, and it has more auxiliary outs, but it doesn't have the Bluetooth function. And yeah, I just think for the size and the functionality, I think this is a great unit, and also the price. I think the L8 costs a considerable bit more than the 149 that this costs, and it's great value. So again, a great little unit. Well done to Proel for making this available at such a good price with so many features, good functionality. The pots feel decent. Yeah, so I think this is a great unit for the money. 149 euros currently. And the Soundcraft I think is more the Soundcraft 12 FX unit, which is a desk form, analog form, similar to this. It doesn't have a power on or off button. This has a power on and off button, which is nice. Yeah. And of course I got my USB in here, and I can hit record. Yeah, so sorry, just keep my finger on there, record. And you can see the unit there, the display. And if I want to pause that, hit pause, and then I can hit record again. Now, if I want to change it to BT mode or USB mode, I can play back what I've recorded, or I might have some, tracks to play back during an interval. Or BT mode, then we've got then as well. Yeah, and I've connected that with my phone. And it's really handy, folks, not having to run a wire to the desk. Just gives you lots of flexibility. No inputs or anything at the back, no fancy stuff. Well done, Proel. This Playmix series is a good system. Going to bring this out my next gig, and I'm going to put the UI12 to some other kind of use, but I just think if you're gigging on your own, UI12 or any kind of digital mixer that uses Wi-Fi, if you're 100% dependent on that Wi-Fi during the gig, you need a separate modem, and I don't want the hassle of carrying a separate modem. So size-wise, the UI12 is about this width, if you cut off the inputs there, and this depth, and then you've got the handle on the side as well. So it's a little bit bigger than the UI12. But yeah, I think this is a good unit. And, if you're in the market for a mixer, definitely check this out. I mean, the effects are pretty good as well for the money. So a nice bit of reverb there. Be nice if the delay, so let's go up to the delay and echo. Was it 56? So yeah, there's some delay, bit of karaoke. 2, 2, 1. Yeah, so a bit too much. Kind of be nice to have more control over the parameters, but all in all, pretty decent. So, folks, if you like this review, please. Let's turn off that effect. So, folks, overall, a very decent unit, good value for money. Well done, Proel. If you like this review, guys, please give it a thumbs up. I'd love to do more of these reviews, so it'd be great to get some support out there, and maybe subscribe as well. And I'll do more of these kind of reviews. And remember, gig smarter, not harder. Try and have fun out there, guys. And see you on the road. Thanks a lot. Over now.